Previously on Core Energy Experience.
Kurt helps people all over the world. We have a kind of like a mastermind group here, our success posse, as we like to put it.
There we go.
I don't know. I was young, and I've always had like an affinity for music in a way that it just did something to my body. Whatever this sound is, whatever this feeling I have is, this is it for me. Like I was in a band that kids genuinely gave a fuck about, right? That authenticity breaks through every piece of bullshit.
In the fractal world, the fractals are all around us. So imagine this, we're in the womb, we're whole. We come out, what happens? Boom, it looks like a puzzle. What do we do with the puzzle? We're sitting there and we're trying to put it all back to the whole. That's what we're doing in life. We have our own energy fractals. The firmer energy that feels like it needs to fit will come in. If we don't acknowledge that immediately, energy will start to drain.
Basically, I woke up after a fucking run of shows and I had a ringing in my ear, and it's called tinnitus. And I've always had it a little bit, but like never like this. It was like fucking serious, and it was louder, and it was like more aggressive, and it was like, it was the whole thing.
That can cause imbalance, like vertigo and shit like that, yeah?
No. If you have Meniere's disease, yes. But just tinnitus itself, no. And like if this becomes a little bit of like me plugging away some mythos about tinnitus, I'm happy to do so, because a lot of people don't understand it still. They have a very basic understanding of it, and it is like not what you think it is. Not because you don't know, it's just not, education's not there.
So for anyone watching who doesn't know what tinnitus is, what is tinnitus?
So tinnitus is like the presence of it's like an auditory hallucination, essentially. It's not hallucination, it's the presence of like an auditory stimuli that doesn't have a seemingly like a real there's no way of like finding out like a source, right? Even though it's really there. Like I really hear this fucking 4,000 hertz tone going, right, in both ears, right?
4K.
It's about 4K. I like matched it one day. It's around there. It's like around 4K. So it doesn't have to be a ring. It could be a buzz. It could be fucking static. It could be crickety noises. It could be whooshes. It doesn't have to just be a ring. Traditionally, it's a ring, but it doesn't have to be a ring. And it's a thing, like you get it. The bottom line with tinnitus is like literal scientists, doctors, like they don't have an agreed upon, like this is the source of it. So they don't have, there's research all the fucking time on it for a million years, but like they don't have a true cause. If they don't have a true cause for it, they can't treat it, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the fucking day, it's have an auditory stimuli, which is the same exact thing. By the way, everyone experiences this, the same fucking thing when you go to a concert or a rave or a club or a night out or whatever, and you go the next morning like, oh, my ears are ringing from last night. That innocuous, harmless sentence is actually the beginning tipping point of permanent, a potentially permanent condition. I don't mean to scare you into saying that. I'm just telling you that is your body's way of telling you that was too fucking loud, what you just put us through. Do not do that again, please. And we've done that a million times, because we've been playing shows our whole fucking lives without earplugs. Yeah. So like without using hearing protection my whole life, with using iPods, I grew up in the iPod generation. I had earphones in my ear forever, since 7th grade. Every bus ride, every fucking waking second I was skating.
Blaring,
right?
no doubt.
I wasn't, funny enough, I wasn't a blaring guy. I genuinely was not a music on 100 guy. No, I was like a 70. But it's still always, it's always there. So that what they don't tell you, which they should educate you in school about this stuff is, right, when I rolled up into the office and I said, hey, I have this ringing, and I really talked to an audiologist about it, after being refused a million times to really have a genuine fucking discussion with it, because it's so uncared for at the time, at least.
They probably didn't want to go near it because they don't know enough about it.
It's just not they want to go near, it's because they were just like, yeah, we can't do anything for you, right? But like my bottom line is, when I started talking to people about it, like when I finally actually got to an audiologist after like 4 that talked to me about it, he was very clear in saying like, hey man, like your run of shows this weekend did not give you tinnitus. Your entire lifetime of exposure gave you tinnitus. It's a Swiss cheese model where all these little holes start getting poked into everything. So me at 7th grade on the middle school bus listening to fucking, We the Kings or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying that. Listen to some 41, like that. Yeah, like that. I gotta get more credit than We the Kings. Sorry, that band rips though. Band rules. I'm just saying, like that is equally as responsible as the show I just played the other night, where I was rubbing my fucking bass guitar on the stack and feeding
so it's
back
cumulative.
It's the thing is, hearing damage is cumulative. It does not reverse. People need to understand that. Kids need to understand that.
That must have been brutal for you as a musician.
It's a little. So this was interesting. It was. But here's how this thing works, and I'll try to sum this nicely because I can have a whole podcast on tinnitus, which I did do a podcast on tinnitus, and I would do a million of them for my whole life.
What was the podcast you did on tinnitus?
It's called Talking Ears. It's with Dr. Frank Wartinger. He's a I'm saying his last name a little wrong. Sorry, Frank, but he's the man. He's the first audiologist that really helped me out in the PA area outside of Philly, and he sees a lot of fucking musicians. The drummer of Me Without You also was on there. Like he's the best audiologist, one of the best audiologists I've ever met. The other one's Amy, Dr. Amy Wilson in Neptune. Shout out Amy.
Gotcha. Shout out Dr. Frank and Dr. Amy.
Yep. Shout out you guys. But basically, like he was the first one to actually get me right, and like he put me on my path to like feeling like recovering with this. So like, here's the thing, like it's a stimuli and it is from hearing damage. Now it's most likely from, for me at least, because I have a hearing test. My hearing test is fucking awesome. I have great hearing. So how could I have great hearing but yet have so much damage and my ears ring permanently?
Yeah.
We all have hearing ranges beyond what they test for us in hearing tests. It goes up to like 8K or some shit, maybe 10K. We can get up to like fucking 14, 16, 20. That all gets destroyed first the second you get into fucking loud amplified sound. So me and Alex are fucked. We have hearing damage in the upper registers. We do. We just all do.
No doubt.
And it's that damage up there that went fucking haywire. And that damage, a lot of it has to probably do with your hair cells in your ear, I think your cilia. And those hair cells transmit sound for you. I'm not doing this from a particularly audiological perspective, so I'm sorry. My drummer is an audiologist. Sorry, Dr. Kevin, but this is probably fucking wrong. But my point is that those hair cells play a role, and we have a limited amount of them. And everyone has their own fucking amount, okay? Right. And those hair cells react with fucking sound, and they bend. And sometimes they stand back up and they bend and they stand back up. And basically, like when you put your auditory system through so much fucking trauma, it does this beautiful dance of like basically your hearing. They bend, your hearing gets fucked up, and your body adjusts the gain and says, "Okay, your hearing's fucked." But this is the most important thing about all this hearing shit right here. How old is the technology in our fucking heads? How old is our auditory system?
Right, yeah.
But like, I'm seriously, it's my question. Like, how old is it? Yeah. Since the dawn of fucking man, right? Yeah. This is ancient technology. Yeah.
Right.
This is not updated for amplified sound. Our hearing exists to be, it's for survival. It's so we don't get eaten by a fucking panther in the jungle. That's what our sense is for. Yeah. So it's not made for amplified acoustics, right?
And as we know, let's talk about senses. Our strongest sense that we have is listening. That's where we learn the most. That's the best form of communication.
You hear that? All my ex-girlfriends, my strongest sense is listening. And my current girlfriend, you hear that? My strongest sense is listening. That's right, baby. What's up? Shout out, Nikki. So what this really means is, though, like our hearing technology isn't remote, not even like close, designed to handle one fucking speaker, let alone what we put through at concerts, right?
I'm amazing what you guys go through, I gotta say.
Well, it's not just us; it's the audience. It doesn't discriminate.
Yeah, true.
My ears don't give a fuck that I'm the musician or not, and people don't get that wrong too. They're like, "Well, I'm not in a band, so I don't have to wear hearing protection." Buddy, you got to wear it more than me. You're in the fucking. It's quieter on stage.
Yeah, people don't realize the stage is fucking quiet
compared to the fucking house. Yeah. Yes, dude. So
because in the house you can feel the woofer almost.
Yes,
when you're up front.
The fucking woofer on stage. I got my monitors. I got the amps and the drums, but you got way worse.
All we can hear is the one little floor speaker, or if you're lucky enough to have in-ear monitors, you hear a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Right, so like it doesn't discriminate. So like
that's interesting.
Dude. So like that, like the long and short of it is like your ears do this fucking dance of where they get overloaded. Basically, your hearing it's called a temporary threshold shift. You actually lose your hearing temporarily, right? Wow. And your body adjusts and basically pulls a gain knob up and says, okay, we need to survive, so we can't do this shit. So you can hear again, okay? And you do this fucking dance every single time you go into loud sound. And, for whatever amount of time, whatever amount of decibels, but like eventually those fucking hair cells get stuck, bent, or broke, or what the fuck ever, and that dance stops, and it just gets stuck in the fucking on position, and that gain knob getting turned up. And this is a layman's terms of explaining it. This is not scientifically specifically accurate, but basically that gain knob's stuck up. So now you have this fucking thing where basically the experience of tinnitus is my ears are saying to my brain, yo, you hear that buzz, you hear that fucking ring, and my brain's like, dude, we totally hear it. It sounds like this. Right, and then it sounds like this, right? And your ears are like, yeah, no, it sounds like this. You hear it, and my brain's like, dude, totally hear it. It sounds just like this. And my ears are like, cool. Hey, check this ring out. You hear this ring?
So
my brain's like, dude, we totally hear that ring. And now I am just downstairs. Like, can we please fucking stop this fucking thing?
So it's feedback between your brain and your ears.
It's essentially, it's because it's not actually even, it's the models of this stuff don't even sometimes put it in the auditory system. They put it in like your brain. So it's like, there's been studies where people have actually cut the auditory nerve. They're already deaf, so they cut their auditory nerve and they still experience tinnitus.
That's wild.
Which must be hell because
you can experience tinnitus while being deaf?
Because it's not, you gotta understand, it's not, it's not coming from an external source,
True,
right?
It's internal.
So, which means is when I put earplugs in or I cover my ears like this, all I'm doing is removing external sources. So all I'm stuck with is what's inside my body, right? My body literally sounds like a 4K hertz tone. So having the ability to hear is actually masking that sound because I can hear other shit, right?
Sure.
So I sleep with a white noise machine on a lot of times because I just need to hear other things and that like drowns it out, right? But if I'm in a quiet room,
it takes you away from it. Yeah.
People think like, oh, it's there when I'm in quiet or it ramps up. That's what triggers it. No. It's not what triggers it. It's in your body. It's 24/7 for me, dude.
Brutal.
I could do whatever I'm doing. Happy, sad.
So then, how did that affect your relationship with music?
Well, obviously, it was caused from loud sound, and being a musician is 100% a hazard to having loud sound exposure. So I fell into I was very afraid. I was afraid. I was very like, this thing can't be worse because it's very hard to adjust to live with it. I have a 4K hertz tone going no matter what I'm doing. Right now, it's happening. Right now.
Wow.
It's going to happen later, happen before, happen all fucking day, happen when I was eating my ice cream cone. It's happened when I was, having a good time, having a bad time, having sex, not having sex. Like, you name it, it's always fucking there. We'll get to that part, but basically that fear of, oh my God, this fucking thing, this thing is living with me, and you know what? There's no cure, right? There's no way to treat it. There is no traditional cure in the way of like you can't take a surgery. There's no pill. There's no you do this and it stops. That does not exist, and that's why audiologists didn't take me fucking seriously. ENTs didn't take me fucking seriously because they're like, we can't do anything about it, so fucking fuck it, right? Yeah. So that was terrifying, and the thought of making it worse was keeping me from getting back into sound in loud sound environments because I cannot imagine it being fucking worse. My case is relatively mild, and I am telling you all this shit, and it is a relatively mild case. Most cases of sinus actually are probably under 12 dB. Like 12 dB of noise would cover it up. So it's like not that loud.
Yeah.
But the perception of it is what gets you.
Right.
There are people that have much louder perception and much louder cases of it, so to speak, right?
Of course.
And like that kind of thing, dude, it was terrifying to think like, okay, have this, I've done damage, I don't want to make it worse. And how do I make it worse? Well, doing what I was just fucking doing, playing shows. So there was like a solid 4-year period where I barely picked a guitar up. I was depressed. My whole identity was stripped from me. Everything I thought I was and was working for my whole life.
Losing your purpose.
Dude, everything. And I mean overnight. Not gradually. Over fucking night, right? And I got told there's no cure. Good luck. Until I got some help. But I'll get,
Yeah.
So how it affected my relationship with music? I didn't fucking play music, dude. I didn't do shit. I fucking dropped out of everything. I was.
So was that like hiding out era, or what?
It was it was after that.
That was after.
It was
that,
after
right?
that. It was at the end of that. It was like I was gonna get going with that again, and it just fucking I couldn't.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the modern chemistry era. I had to drop out of like playing Starland Ballroom with them because I couldn't. It was right after our fucking tour. It was right
What
after
a heartbreak.
Our second DIY tour after taking my Sunday tour.
Wow.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. It was the first time in my life where I was like, wow, shit is so real. And someone said to me multiple people were like, there's no change. Like, you don't change this. Like, this is you have this. You live like this forever, right? This is your new normal, right? Dog, I couldn't even nap. I was crying all the time. I couldn't even fucking nap because I want to go lay down. Remember, removing external stimuli means I just get stuck with what's in here. So yes, when I put my ear to a pillow, what do you think I'm doing? I'm basically just putting a big earplug on my one pillow. Right. So that means when I'm trying to fucking sleep, one ear can hear the environment, the other ear is just.
Ouch.
So I can't even fucking nap. I was going nuts. People can't even if I put a fucking AirPod in your ear and played that tone and said, okay, cool, staple it to you now forever. People look at me like you're in 30 seconds of it, they'd lose their mind.
I could see how that would drive you crazy.
Right. Now, so I it was the first time in my life where I was like truly like, holy shit. And I had this moment where I was like, all right, like before I got like the real help I needed to turn the page with it, I was like, okay, I can't do this. I can't just fucking rot here and just like literally like just wither and like die. Like everything I love just over. Like couldn't do it. Like my health was preventing me for the first time of doing the thing I was like born to do. And it just felt so incongruent with me as a person. Like everything I just told you in the beginning of this podcast, which is way too much. I have to cut so much of this stuff out. But like I see Kim like restarting the camera a million times. I'm taking too fucking long. I'm sorry. You fucked up having me on this thing. I'm so sorry.
Thank God for Kim.
But yeah,
Many,
truly, no, honestly, what a fucking hero. Like the actual hero. The hero of the fucking night, like throwing her props, man. Like what a
best.
It's
my wife.
Yeah. But like, look, like basically, like I had this moment where I was like, all right, I either my back's against the wall, and I got two options. I literally like get on antidepressants just to open my eyes in the morning. Right,
Wow.
Something just to exist, right?
Right.
Or my back's against the wall. I just walk forward off the wall. I just go this way. Steps doesn't matter. Like I just move off the fucking wall, and that like visual for me like really helped me out. And
Good.
I when I was playing in like last couple tours as a hobby on the side that wasn't music for the first time ever, I started playing soccer just as a complete disconnected hobby that wasn't.
Where'd that come from?
Dude, you can't have me on this podcast. There's like 10,000 podcasts in my life, bro. It's fucked up. Like this is nothing. We didn't even get to the real shit, bro. It's fucked up. Like
That's what we're here to do, though,
I told
man.
Alex you're gonna have to put a cap on. I'm fucking you guys up. But basically, like I'm Italian. I watched us win the World Cup in 06. I always was like into it, like as a secondary, like kind of like as a casual fan.
But why did you go there to help you trigger, get off the wall?
Well, because I was before all this, like when I was good and playing music before, like earlier that year, my internet was down and I was playing Xbox and I couldn't play any like fucking Call of Duty or some shit, so I downloaded FIFA, the demo, and I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna play this, and I was like, wow, I love this. I love soccer. This is sick. And like, I'm the kind of guy where I'm like, I can't just like do something. I have to like be in it. So then like me playing FIFA for a couple weeks turned into like, I'm gonna buy a ball. And like at 23, I never played a lick of fucking soccer in my life. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy a ball. I bought like shin guards, bought cleats. I ran around for like 4 hours one day, just like by the nets, like by my by a park by my house. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this shit. And then I was in the orthopedic fucking doctor the next day because I pulled 4 muscles.
I remember during COVID we played once or twice,
yeah,
right?
bro. Oh, yeah. I was new as shit.
Because I've played soccer my whole life. Because I'm also first gen boy. You know, soccer's the sport.
It's just my DNA activating as an Italian. My mom's from Rome. My dad's grandparents are from Naples. So
nice.
It's cool. I'm born to do
Italian
that.
activate.
That's all it was, dude. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, it's like every time that's how I know how to put the right amount of fucking parm on my fucking pasta. My body knows.
That's it.
That's my fractal activating.
There we go. Man.
So then you ended up starting. How did you start a soccer club then?
Well, you already jumped. Yeah. So I basically went from like, okay, I have nothing and I have to get off the wall. And I started like I went back to Brookdale. I went back to community college. I dropped out of school to tour. I dropped out of college to tour with my bands, and now
Sounds
I'm like, a tale as old as
right. Yeah, I know. Right? Well, my dad, fucking shout out Big Joe in heaven. My dad, he was even like, hey man, like if you're doing this, like don't go to school. Like what are you doing? Like you're wasting time in school if you just want to rock and roll.
Yeah, I
like,
get it. Yeah.
My dad knew it. He got it. So like,
But again, that takes courage there too, to step out that young and to realize.
No, fuck no courage. Fuck no courage. I was like, let's do this shit. What the fuck are we talking about? No fear on that. I'm like, let's fucking do this. I don't want to be in class.
I didn't say fear, I said courage.
Oh, dude, I don't know courage. I don't want to be in fucking class, bro. I don't give a fuck. Courage now because I gotta pay bills. That's courage. Before I had fucking bills to pay, dude. I was like, fuck it.
Easy, that's
I don't give
for
a
sure.
shit. So I had no passion and outlet, and I literally like from literally like nothing and like barely even being in the game, I was like, I need to like have like my rock band. Like I need to have that in my life. And I 2017, man, I currently to this day, I'm not like on the ground on it anymore because I'm too busy at the moment, but I founded and ran a football club in like a statewide league.
It's fabulous.
Called Monmouth Light Football Club. I founded it when I had tinnitus. It was like an outlet for me to fucking heal. It was also basically a way to pour, like for the first time ever, I was like, can I use all of my like passionate energy that built me being a musician? Can I redirect that at all, period? Can I even harness it? And then if I can harness it, can I put it into something else? And I learned to do that for the first time ever. That wasn't music. I was like, can I do this? And I fucking...
That's a huge transition, by the way.
That is that. Like that for sure is
major
that. Like
mutation.
I was like, can I make this...
into your transformation. Remember, we do that in stages of life. We're always transitioning, number one.
Right.
And we're forming another transformation.
Well, that was definitely the first time I ever did something like that. And I created a football club. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, it's been that was 2018. They have training tomorrow night. Like,
that's fantastic.
A few years ago, I went to one training session and I was just like throwing up after. It was insane. These dudes are like soldiers.
Was that just for the experience?
Well, you gotta understand, like I was the worst
because
guy.
Like throw up after running.
It was unbelievable.
I couldn't play for shit.
I hadn't played since high school, and I go into I'm like, all right, men's club, it can't be that bad.
No, it's the guys.
Oh man, they were hardcore.
I would say this, I'm very proud of that.
Good.
Like I'm very proud to say, like, yes, I'm not on the ground as much with it now because I can't be at the moment, but like.
But your callings, you got a lot of callings to your point.
Do.
That's why you were saying earlier it's tough for you to.
And you have so much energy, you got to put it somewhere.
But you know, man, Monmouth Light's been home to like now, because 40, I mean, close to 100 players throughout the years, like easy. Like we have a history. Like we're not just like a thing that started last night anymore. Like there's like
7 years, man. That's awesome.
There's people that have given their fucking time and energy and blood, their fucking injuries, their passion, their care, their dread, their everything to like a thing I created.
Sounds like a musician to me.
But it is that. But it means so like the soccer club for me, like it just I used to joke with everybody. I was like, oh, you guys are just my 25-person rock band.
Right.
Like that's I would say that the first season all the time. I'd be like, you guys are just my 25-person rock band. And it's fucking way harder with all you fuckers. But that is what I turned my like energy into that. And 2018 was a great year for me because I really healed that year from like in terms of like feeling like for the first time I went back to Brookdale.
Awesome.
I was taking videography courses because I wanted to do that. I wanted to learn how to film the games and like do video and do the YouTube channel. And like I was pursuing things that like I never did before because I only ever pursued music and had no time to do anything else. Right. So I was discovering other parts of myself by like fucking the force of, entities.
Well, you see, we're always growing. So it was a calling for you to continue your growth in a different way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and like through that, I also like, it's weird. It's like 2018, like that, like fall of 2018 was like the last time I probably felt like really normal again, which is crazy because that was like after my tinnitus. Like I still felt really good. Going back to the tinnitus, right? Because this all ties in. Like while I'm physically putting my energy into something else, I'm still trying to understand what the fuck is happening in my body and can I ever do music again? And where I got to with it is basically like, this sound is just in my body now, right? This fucking ring is just part of my existence. It just is me. And like, it actually is affected by like what I'm doing or my mood, or if I'm tired, it'll come out more. My perception will be more of it. If I'm stressed, if I'm whatever, like it even acts as like a sixth sense. This is gonna sound nuts, but like if I get into like immediate danger, I get like a crazy spike. Like I'm not kidding. It's tied to my nervous system. Sure. I would be playing soccer and I would catch a ball like whiz by my head that someone hit like from a corner, like just not meant for me or whatever. Like, and then someone's like, yo, duh. And I saw a ball whiz past my head. And as it passed my fucking like just my peripheral, in my ears, I literally heard,
oof.
Crazy. Whoa. I was driving once with Carrot from a Not Yer Baby performance at TCNJ, and a rock kicked up and smashed her windshield. Not a big rock, but the second we saw it fly up, I just heard. I was literally. It's nuts, dude.
Wow.
This sound is like tied to my nervous system, right?
Spidey sense.
It is like it's wild, right? And like because of that, understanding that means that okay. this noise that's not real, even though it's real, but it's not. It'll never actually do anything to me. It can't hurt me. It can't do anything to me. It's just there. And one fucking audiologist that, though he kind of, it wasn't helpful at the time when I thought I was getting fucked with, because this audiologist, one of the people I thought didn't help me early on, he got to the end of my whole fucking thing about what's going on, and he just looked at me and he was like, he goes, it's like, do you go to the gym? You work out? And I was like, do I look like I fucking work out? Like, what? I was like, why the fuck are you asking me? He's like, because you better fucking do something. I was like, what? And then he hands me a packet on mindful meditation. Now, first off, so you know, when you get handed meditation as your fucking thing, just know you're fucked. All right, just understand that you're at the end of the fucking line. Okay, meditation. When you get someone says, "Well, what if you just have you thought about it differently?" You don't go to the ER with a broken leg and go into triage, and they're like, "Have you changed your perspective on what's happening?" Like, fuck no, right? So, the thing is though, that doctor was actually 100% correct, because it's just a fucking stimuli, and it's the same. That means it adheres to the same hierarchical principles that other stimuli in your body do as well, or come into your body do. Meaning, like, you guys are wearing pants. We're all wearing pants right now, right? How come your brain isn't feeling 24/7 every inch of that fabric on your legs? But like, why not?
Right.
Because it doesn't need to. It's not a threat to you.
Right.
It's not fucking dangerous. It's not important information. Our brains have this miraculous ability to filter out on a hierarchy what we need to know, because we're surviving, right?
Yeah, so in between the stimulus and the reaction is some power there.
Yeah, because what it is like, it's the same thing as like going into your apartment and like you have a fridge that hums or your AC makes a noise. Like, you live with it long enough, like your body starts realizing in the background, starts going, it's not important. Like,
our fridge sounds like we're living on a prairie, dude.
But I
know exactly what you mean.
You guys don't, but you don't hear it anymore when you go in.
Yeah, you're right.
And someone else that comes in your apartment is gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, so what starts to happen is, okay, the best piece of advice I learned in tinnitus about this like stimuli that you don't want to happen is that it's tied to you. So if you were to feed into you're in a negative feedback loop. And this is what and I've had people reach out to me from the other podcasts, like people all over the world have reached out to me to talk to me about this, because they're like, holy shit, dude, you're the first person, like, I talk about tinnitus so fucking candidly, and like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm in your stage, or you're saying. So anyone listening to this is what this is. It's a negative feedback loop, and you're feeding it. And what you do is you have this ring, it upsets you. Your body says, holy shit, this is a fucking threat. This is scary. This is terrible. Oh my God. You're upset, and now you're upset. It makes the fucking perception of it worse. Now the perception of it is worse, and it's louder, and now you're like, oh my God, this thing's so loud. How the fuck am I going to live? This is so bad. Now because I'm feeling that way, the perception of it gets jacked. You have to break the fucking cycle by just being basically completely fucking neutral to it, which is harder, easier said than done.
That's why doctors turning on to meditation.
But that's what he's right.
I was just
that
gonna say,
guy was
sounds
actually
like meditation.
No, but that guy was actually right.
Yeah.
Like, Frank Warringer explained this shit to me, because he's like, look, like, it's just a fucking thing that, like, once you break all you gotta do is break the cycle. It's literally a Chinese finger trap. And the best analogy I ever heard for it was like, when you pull your fingers out of the Chinese finger trap, like thing, that little toy, like, it gets tighter, right? And the only way to actually let go of it is to push in like that. So if you let go of the tinnitus, it will let go of you. And understanding that visual helped me so much. And once I had, one good day of not caring about it, turned into 2, 3 here and there, it got to the point where my brain literally is on my side. It's on your side. Your brain literally starts going, okay, we actually have other shit to worry about that's more important than this. Like, we literally do. Like, not even a stretch. And it's like, this is just as important as your fucking fridge or your pants.
Right.
This thing isn't a threat. If you stop seeing it as a threat, this noise that won't do anything to you is not threatening.
You know what's really impressive, Joey, is that we, as every day, without something like you experiencing that, we cycle thoughts the majority of the time during the day. That's just how we are. So to listen to all this, that you have to deal with breaking it away from something that's deeply cycling. It's not a forefront, to your point. It's back there, and it's real. We talk about pain being, how real is pain? Well, pain's real when you really get to that level, right? And then that's real pain. So the point being is that you're able to do things that most people would like to try to do, and that's calm their mind and break away from whatever it might be.
Yeah, it is definitely that. I mean, that taught me a lot about that, obviously. I mean, it's I'm aware there's a lot of deeper principles in what I just described to you guys about that can apply to a lot of fucking things. It's not a bunch of hokey shit where you're like, toxic positivity.
You're talking a lot about energy here. I mean, you've really been spilling out energy in a different way.
I was forced to go through a thing that's like the only way out of this thing is if you figure out how to fucking do this, right? And I've had to die. A very fucking somewhat famous ear surgeon in New York City tell me the same thing. And I went to him and he was like, looked at my chart, put it down. He's like, I don't need to say anything else. And I was like, what the fuck's happening? He's like, he looked at me, rolled up to me, and he just goes, I'm the ear doctor. He's like, I have what you have. And I was like, fuck me. Like, what fucking matrix am I in right now? He just goes, I have tinnitus. I was like, fuck me. Like, use the fuck. He's like, no, I'm the ear surgeon. I'm like, fuck me, dude. And he just goes, he looks at me, he's like, mine's screaming right now because I'm in front of you. He's like, but when you leave and I go back into my office, it's just going to get pushed right to the back of my mind. And he just looks at me, he's like, you just got to figure out how to do that. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? He's like, I wished you were like an accountant or something and not a musician. I was like, yeah, I know, me too. He's like, I see musicians all the time. He's like, I see rock stars. He's like, I see people with, I see people with like, you saw Madison Square Garden. He's like, I see people with like one name. And I was like, are you Seal's doctor? And I looked at him, I was like, wait, are you Bono's doctor?
Sting.
Dude, he started smiling, and I was like, are you Bono's doctor? I pointed to I have a Joshua Tree tattoo here. And I started pointing I was like, cool. Are you fucking Bono's doctor? And he just started smiling. I was like, I know you can't break HIPAA law, but like, blink if you're Bono's doctor. Dude, it's crazy shit. But like, that was the fucking ear doctor. So like, I heard it from all angles. Like, again, like, and this is like, I'm killing your fucking product here, your podcast, because like, this could be its own everything I could tell you about resiliency or shit that I like, my thing, like my stuff that's bad, like my stories, they could be all their own podcasts individually. Like, it just is what it is. Like, I have a lot of bullshit.
That's good, man. This is potent. There's a lot of value here, and I hope that our viewers can get, something out of this. I'm sure they are.
Definitely.
But you're right. We do need to wrap it up at some point. So I'm going to ask you two more questions and whatever Kurt has at the end as well. So number one, let's bring it back then to, so you came back to music.
Yeah.
You've been able to kind of take your tinnitus and put it in a corner.
Yeah, through that journey, like parallel to healing away from music, like my body and mind was doing its thing to gear up to be able to do music safely again with hearing protection.
Right.
The most crucial piece of all this.
So the break was absolutely necessary. You needed that.
Oh, dude, my body needed a break anyway. It was just like, I'm fucking tired of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm tired now,
God
dude.
bless you guys.
But so now you are going to play See Here Now in just a couple weeks this month. So just quick on that, like, what does it mean for you after this whole journey to not only move to Asbury Park, you're now an Asbury Park local, you live there, but to play the biggest festival, not only in town, but definitely in Monmouth County.
Well, yeah, I mean,
New Jersey right now.
I can't, and it sucks because like I won't expect like this. People are gonna. This is again a whole other thing, and I won't expand on this too much. But I can't tell this story. Actually, I can't tell my story whatsoever without touching on these 2 points. If I don't say these things, if you keep nothing else from this podcast, you could keep this section in. Okay,
let's go.
But after my like the reason why I'm in Asbury Park, let's go right there. Why I live in Asbury Park, how I live in Asbury Park. I was 26 and I just started playing music. I wasn't even into music yet. I was on my way up. I was healing. I was doing my thing. I was doing my soccer club. I was just getting there. I was feeling good. I was 26. My mom, at my grandmother's funeral, at her mom's funeral, my mother suffered from a brain aneurysm rupture.
Oh, shit.
At the service.
Oh.
And we got her basically life-saving surgery like that night. Wow. And I mean, life, again, like when you have the bottom line with a lot of this.
You need immediate attention when that happens.
Well, yeah, no, you do. She had a brain, and they saved her life, and then there's a whole saga there. But basically, like at 26, I became a man at 26 when a brain surgeon came into the room and said, you need to sign this paper, like for your mom to sign off consent for the surgery with everything that could fucking happen, everything that's going on. Like I aged a decade overnight. Like, and that was just, I mean, literally months after I started feeling good with the tinnitus, soccer club, everything. That was 2019. It was April Fools of 2019, April 1st.
Oh, God.
Okay? And like that, my mom was walking away. The doctor said, he's like, if this all goes well, your mom will just walk home. And that is a fucking true thing. He said, he comes in and he said, if this all just goes one way, your mom's just going to walk home from this. My mom, like literally, like, you know, like it was a life-saving surgery, like no bones about it, right? And they coil her aneurysm and all this, and that the world of aneurysms and all that stuff is terrifying. But basically, my mom, about 2 weeks later from that, you would pretty much not believe anything happened to her. She was in the step down unit from the ICU. She was talking. She was taking work call. Like, it was crazy, right?
Wow.
She had a headache. I explained to her what the fuck just happened. You know, it was wild, you know?
Wow.
But
she's a 1%er.
my mom, you have no idea, right? You want to talk about resiliency? My mom, like, my mom is, if anything, if I can do anything on this earth at all, is because I have my mom's DNA in me, okay? Like, all the showman stuff, the funny stuff, the personality, the social stuff, it's all my dad, you know? All my talent, I get that. My mom, though, it's the reason I can do anything, okay?
Sounds like you're blessed by two beautiful human beings, your mom and your dad.
Yeah. Oh, my dad. Nah, he's a looker. I was like, he's beautiful. Nah, I'm playing. I look like him, so. I used to rag him all the time for that. But no, so like, the thing with this is, my mom was literally walking home. I mean, literally. And on the way out of the hospital, they found that she basically they did a diagnostic before she can leave, because they have to do that. And they found that there was another little intersection of veins in her brain that another aneurysm was probably forming, and it was pretty weak. And they were like, hey, she's going to have to come back in, and we're going to have to take care of this. And they're like, we really should just take care of it. So like, she's in the hospital already, and they basically were like, we can't guarantee what's going to happen if she leaves. So like, we need to do this. So they do another surgery, and my mom does not wake up from this second brain surgery in like an appreciable amount of time. And in real time, I had the brain surgeon come down and say, hey, we did the surgery. It was the hardest surgery of my career. Literally, a brain surgeon told me it was the hardest surgery of his career. He's like, anything worse would have been a different situation. And I watched this man panic over the course of an hour, which is terrifying to watch a brain surgeon panic in real time.
No doubt.
It's insane. Adam was there, actually. Visited the hospital. It was insane.
God.
And my mom got wheeled back into the ICU, the neuro ICU, where she just was for like 2 weeks. You know, I'm sorry, for like 2-3 weeks, about 2-3 weeks or so. And they didn't know what the fuck was going on, and it was so. She basically had another brain bleed. She had a brain bleed during the surgery that they did not catch.
Wow.
And for reasons of the way they did the surgery, the methods they used, they didn't do an open surgery. They did a layer, I guess, laparoscopically through the vein. So there's a brain bleed happening that they didn't have their eyes on physically. That I then later learned a different brain surgeon would have done that open skull with his eyes looking at it like in raw light, that would have caught stuff. So my mom, who was about to fucking walk home, right? And this was about to be an acute nightmare that we were going to be like, holy shit, remember that. It turned into, this is going to be the rest of your life and her life. And
Holy shit.
she got wheeled back into the ICU that she was just in. And I mean, the nurses and the PAs and the people that were the staff at that ICU were hugging me for comfort, because they were so fucking upset of what just fucking happened, you know? And here I am, 26, you know, not a man yet, still living with my mom, still recovering from my little transition of life from my tinnitus. I'm working at the soccer shop.
That wasn't so little, my friend.
Well, let me tell you, that immediately, I'll tell you what I didn't think about for 4 months straight? My tinnitus once. Do you think I didn't hear it? I didn't hear it at all. Because
isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Doesn't fucking matter. It just didn't matter.
Yeah.
So, you know, to fast forward, they gave my mom a lot of different prognosis. My mom went through a lot of rehab, a lot of different stages. She is in a long-term care facility in Edison right now, and like arguably will be there because she's not fit to live. It's just not fit to live at home. She did wake up essentially out of a coma, basically. You know, she has some of her.
It's tough, my friend.
She has some. You know, she has a lot of her there, but there's a lot of. It's not what people think. Brain injuries are very difficult, and I won't go too far into it because it's too much. But in terms of like explaining all this stuff, but basically, like, yes, my mom has a like life everyone has a like mom has a life-changing brain injury for her at 59. For us, you know, I was 26. My younger brother moved to Philly. My dad flew up immediately when that happened from Florida. My parents were divorced and they were living separately, and they're cool. They're friends. My dad came up and he took care. You know, helped take care of her and me, and he was there every day for us. And,
very nice.
It's a whole thing. But you know, people would always applaud me all the time, be like, "Oh, you're such a good son. You're this, you're that," and like, "What did you do? How'd you?" Even I've had friends that even gone through tragedy similar, and they've been like, "How did you get through that?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, I tell you right now, I didn't. Like, my body just went autopilot and just did what it had to do. Like, there's no fucking thing I can tell you to sit down here and say, this is how you get through that level of tragedy. No, dude. Like, I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like you can't consume all of that horror and then formulate some fucking plan. All I could do is my emotions need to turn off. I need to show up every fucking day. I need to just be a robot because I need to get information. I was so good at regurgitating my mom's surgical history to every procedure she was doing that the fucking PAs were like, "Are you in medical school?" I was like, "No. I've just been living this every fucking day. I didn't work. Yeah. I was doing nothing but going to the hospital every 2 fucking days. My dad and I would take shifts." And like, you know, it all spits out where my mom's in the facility. We have to probably sell her house and move everything on and figure this all fucking out because there's now a million things that aren't medical that have to get taken care of legally. I am through the state of New Jersey now, which we didn't even have a fucking power of attorney because who the fuck just has that?
Right.
I am my mom's legal guardian, one of my mom's legal guardians, along with her sisters, like, and my brother, through the state of New Jersey. You know how fucking hard that was to get? You know how fucked up that is at 26 to go and do that? And I don't care. And the thing is, you know, it's fucking crazy is that, you know, I was even almost rationalizing my grandmother who passed. Like, remember, that was at my grandmother's funeral this happened. And I was almost like, as if I could make sense of that because she was 83, you know? And it's like, that's something I can, like, rationalize. I learned immediately that is not how that works. You could be fucking 283.
That's right.
You still have a parent. It does not fucking matter. You will feel the same fucking way.
Yeah.
There's no rationalization of this shit. It is the same feeling. It's the same love. It's the same fucking power between you and hopefully, you know, a good relationship we're talking about with your parents. Like that level of fucking love does not change whether you're 1,000 years old or not. Right. So I learned real quick that's not how that shit works. And I don't know. That was some insane shit. The long and short of that basically is, again, all these things happen. There's another transition going there where that is another time. It's the second time in my life now that something comes up and says, hey, this is now the new normal. You don't get to change this necessarily.
That's right.
Things have changed about it. My mom did get better than what they said they would.
Well, we're never going to have the same energy. I think that's the interesting part about energy. It just keeps moving on.
Right.
You know, that's how it is.
So, right. So, like, you know, there's a whole thing about that, right? But I could tell you from that point, what I could say is everyone was like, "Oh, you're so strong, you're so this, you're so that." I'm like, dude, I don't want to be into these things, right? And people that are going through real shit will tell you this. They don't want to. They didn't ask to fucking be strong. I didn't ask for a challenge. I didn't ask to fucking show off how good of a fucking family member I could be. I would trade every single piece of perspective I got from my mom getting sick to just have her be fine.
Sure.
I would be a fucking kid making dick fucking money, not living on my own, not in Asbury Park, not doing anything I'm fucking doing to just have my mom be healthy. I do not give a shit about what I gained out of it, unfortunately. It sucks because I've gained a lot of perspective out of it, and I don't freak out about a lot of shit now because I'm like, can you change it? Yeah, okay. Moving us along, getting to Asbury Park, we're going to sell my mom's house, and while we're going to do and get all this stuff sorted out, you know, this goes on for a year. It doesn't a year or two, and it's 2021 now. That happened in 2019. It's now 2021. My dad has a fucking pain in the side. I tell him to go to the hospital for it because the ER, because he was fucking like, he was being a boomer about it. I'm sorry, he just was. He was just being the dad thing where he's like, I'm fucking fine. I'm like, Dad, you're 65. Like, you know, you're a little janky now. Like, it could be. Do you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, just take care of it. Like, just look into it a little bit. Don't do the thing.
Get it looked at.
You can't just walk everything off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. So he goes to whatever. He goes to the fucking ER. He goes over to Central State and Freehold, and I was at work, and he called me on lunch, and he's like, "Yeah, I went to the ER. They gave me a CT scan, and it was like a Tuesday, and he's just like, I got stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh my shit.
And just like that.
God.
It was so fucking obvious on the scans that the tech, my dad found out he had lung cancer because the tech
Says something.
No, but the tech didn't even say he didn't. The tech didn't break the news to my dad.
They're not allowed to.
No, but he didn't go, dude. It was so far that the tech did not go, "Hey, you have this." He just goes, "Oh yeah, your pain's because of your cancer." As if it's like there's no way you didn't know that. Like, you know what I mean? How insane that is. My dad's like, "My what?"
Ouch.
And you know what I'm saying?
What a way to find out.
That was around August 10th of 2021. My dad passed 2 days after my birthday, September 26th, 2021.
Sorry to hear, man.
So that happened. You know, which
That's
people,
so
you know,
hard,
people said it was fortunate they didn't have this long battle with it, which is I can agree with that. There's a whole other story about that. There's a whole other story about my dad, you know, just how that happened. We had to pull the plug and things like that, and when we knew and how we knew. And there's a lot of spiritual stuff that happened around
You
that.
bet.
Like a lot.
You bet.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. I had a
I can see your spirit. That's why I brought it up.
yeah, dude. I mean, I had a Sicilian horn necklace I was gifted actually from Steph, and I remember I was walking down from my dad's room back and forth all day. Our friends were at the hospital all day. It was on a Sunday, and like one of the trips down, like the necklace just the charm just broke right off my necklace, and I was like, holy shit. And then another point, I'm in the room and I'm like looking at I have these boots I wore all the time. And I wore these boots, and I was like, I looked at my boots and the soles were just ripped off. They were just coming off. I never know. I was like, what the fuck? And like things were just shedding off me. And I was like, holy shit. That night, so that morning, you know, talk about spiritualness. This is something. That morning, it was my birthday weekend. So the last time I like spoke to my dad like truly lucidly, and he spoke back, was my birthday, and I told him I loved him. I dropped in him in the hospital room because he was in the hospital. He was staying in the hospital at the time. It was in and out of the hospital for that whole month with stuff cancer related.
Brutal.
And you know, I said that to him, and then he goes, "Well, yeah, he was." Yeah, I said that to him. I was on my birthday. That was the Friday. Saturday night, Not Yer Baby played a massive show, and I remember I woke up Sunday morning like naked, drunk still, naked, on Brian's fucking studio floor in his place in Asbury. And it was like 6 a.m. and I had this, I had my friend with me. I had to drop this girl off, and I was just like, I literally I was like, holy shit, Monmouth Light has a fucking game this morning. I have to go to the fucking game. So I went Sunday morning on the 26th all the way to fucking Manalapan to our game, right? I showed up to our soccer game in my leather boots, in my leather jacket, like to fucking be in the sidelines,
There we
right?
go.
Dude, my team, we didn't win a fucking game for like an entire season. We were in such a bad rut. And that was the first game of a new season. First game. And we won. And we're winning. And I'm like, holy shit. And we're celebrating, right? And like 10 minutes after we celebrate, I get the call that my dad's on like life support. I actually got the call early that morning. They said that my dad was in the ICU. And I was like, holy shit, is everything okay? And they're like, yeah, he's stable. And I was like, okay, like I'll go visit him after the game. Like everything's good, like whatever. Yeah, they didn't fucking tell me he's stable on oxygen, not responsive. That's what they meant. So the doctor's like, your dad's on life support. And I was like, oh my God. So I rushed to the hospital, right? And then that whole fucking thing occurs. I was on a Sunday, right? So after all that, you know, my dad passed that night, right? And around 10 o'clock that night, the whole family shows up. It's a whole thing. There's a longer story there, but basically, that was a Sunday night. And I remember waking up Monday morning, and it just felt like I was in a whole new fucking world.
You were.
And again, that phone call, but that phone call he got, that instant, it was the third time that something came up and said, you can't change, nothing's ever going to fucking be the same. You can't change this, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know something crazy? So we had a whole season of horse shit and such bad time with Monmouth Light, and that my dad died on that Sunday. That season, 2021, 22, we went undefeated every Sunday morning. Whether we didn't lose, whether we didn't win, we drew.
Dad's energy
we
there,
won or
man.
we drew. I mean, we pulled out of like a 4-0 to
That's
go 4-4 against the league
crazy.
leaders. Like you have no idea the miracles that occurred every fucking Sunday morning. I was just like, holy shit.
You went through a whole paradigm shift.
I'm telling you, my dad was just like out there every morning, like, yo, I got you. Like it was crazy, right? Like I don't know how to explain that. I'm telling you, shit like that, dude. Like it's stuff
Those
like
are
that.
energies. Yes, those are fractal energies coming in. Again, if we believe in our spirituality, you know, we all sort of leave something behind, however that is.
Man. I learned a lot about. And I'm going to tie this in so you can wrap up. I promise. This is how it's all going to go into what's going to happen here. I'll bring us all back to the beginning about this, but like, I learned about, you know, when my dad went, like, I held his hand as we took him off the machine, and he died. Like I'm telling you, like he.
Glad you had that experience.
Yeah, he was gonna go. Like we didn't know what was going on, and I couldn't make that decision. Like I remember being like, I can't make this decision. Like I cannot. I'm sorry. Like I know I have to, but I cannot. And I've been through so much, and I've been through so much with my mom. I've been through so much. Like, but I cannot make the decision as a son to be like, I'm gonna pull the plug. Right.
Understandable.
This nurse literally broke HIPAA. And fucking said to me, look, your dad right now is on he's on a blood pressure medication to keep his blood pressure up to a human level.
Wow.
And and his blood pressure was like 64 over whatever. Like it was like the minimum amount to basically be like sustainable.
That is, that's about the lowest.
The top number was like 64. You know how nuts that is?
Yeah.
And she pulled me aside and she goes, look, here's another patient. Your dad's on blood pressure. Your dad's on blood pressure meds to achieve this number, right? She goes, here is the chart of the patient in the other room. And she showed me the fucking screen, which is probably illegal. But she goes, look, this person is on 2 doses of this blood pressure medicine, and their blood pressure was like 112 or something like that. You know,
Right.
it was up there. It was all right. It was fine.
Yeah.
And then she goes back to my dad, who's at like 64 or whatever it is, and she goes, your dad is on 30 doses.
Wow.
She's like, we literally can't give him any more. We'd have to put a fucking bigger like IV into his chest.
Holy cow.
I was like, his body told us what needed to happen. I was like, that is when I knew. I was like, okay, I understand. Like he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, that when he went, I was holding his hand and I just had this weird sense of like, I don't know if peace is what it is, but it was this thing where I was just like, it was weird. I guess I was a mess. I was like everything you think you're gonna be, and more of like how devastated you are, man. Like inconsolable, but also like this big sense of like immediately I had this sense of like, okay, like you're just not here, right? But I don't have like to see you now. I don't have to just go to like home and Freehold or whatever. Like you were just gonna be everywhere all the time with me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like I literally can tell you like the relationship I had with my dad was just like nothing changed. And it was just like it was this strange thing of like I just know that you're always gonna be around. I'm gonna feel the same fucking way about you. And it was this weird sense of like that's how it's gonna go. And I told him I was like I'm gonna go do everything I want to fucking do in this life. I'm gonna accomplish everything I want to fucking dream about. Like there's the whole point. My parents sacrificed so much to have me, my brother. I was a 3-month premature child that my mom was conceived with early in vitro in the 90s.
Wow.
Like I was not an accident.
Right.
I was on purpose from the minute that I was a thought. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And like my parents, like, you know, my mom, like I would get my mom the pot. Like I'm just saying, like when my mom was in the ICU and she woke up the first time from her brain surgery, and I spoke to the PAs, they were like, "Oh, your mom." They're like, "Oh yeah, we know all about you." I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, your mom told us the entire story of how you were born." I was like, "My mom's first fucking thing out of the coma was like to tell you about." But do you understand what I come from? Like that
Sure.
is like what my brother and I were no fucking accidents.
Your gifts, my friend. Your
And like
gifts.
we were given this life. Like I'm gonna do what the right thing to do in this life is whatever the fuck I want to do with it.
That's right.
That is the right thing. There's no supposed to. There's no, make money, do this, be smart, do that. There's like I was given the fucking gift to exist. Like the privilege of being a middle class kid and like having the chance to do it. Like I have to fucking go do whatever I want to do.
So
with it.
there's a word that I like to use as much as possible, and I capitalize it. It's 2 letters. Be. We're here to be. Be who we are. And that's really part of our purpose. Back to your point, all this night you've been talking a lot about it. And I think this is a good time to, we're out of our time here. So this is a good point where I want to ask you a final question. Joey, if I may. Right now, you're a blank sheet. You're a white paper. The world's in a very tumultuous time right now, as you know. There's a lot going on out there. A lot of changes, a lot of everything. What would you, if you could, in that being a blank piece of paper, that white sheet, what would you put on there for the world to help it out?
It's funny. I thought about not that question. I drew a bunch of titties on it first. Like some, just like they're pierced. It's
Just
sick.
super bad.
Good. They can not be pierced. They're just Italian. All right. I don't know.
Frame it any way you want.
No, whatever you want it to be.
It's open-ended.
They're the titties that you want them to be. No. You know what? It's an interesting question. What I think is, I thought about this a little bit. Is like what I don't know, my little place in all this stuff. Like, what the fuck can I, like, what I don't know, what is important to me about why I do all the stuff I do or whatever. And I think it's like, I'm into the, I don't know if I'd put it on a sheet in the way that you're saying it or if it would translate this way, but it's like, I'm into the humanity of these things. Like, I'm into but not the like hokey, like the conversations that we have about the stuff going on in the world, and there's a numerous amounts of them, whether you're talking about genocides, whether you're talking about school shootings, whether you're just having those conversations in itself, even though they're saying the right things. Like, I could sit here and tell you, like, yeah, like, you know, guns are bad, and like we have to have this take on it, or like, you know, that conversation, as it's almost like so regurgitated too, that it's not doing any good anymore. I think what I look for is like the nitty gritty pockets of fucking understanding that I told you that I see and feel and experience and always want to translate. Like, when you talk about the stuff in the world, like, people need to have their humanity and engage with it on a way that like is real to them, and not some stats. It's not some fucking thing where you got to have a political point or subscribe to the viewpoint. Sure. You got to reach deeper than that. And like, when you put it in a way where it's like, yeah, but you're a parent. What about a parent staring into an empty bedroom now?
Right.
That's the human, like, that is a human fucking moment of intimacy that's going to happen around those things. When we talk about world events, if you have a take on what's going on in Palestine, whatever fucking side you're on that thing, you better understand the human elements of which you're talking about before you make those points. And I'm not saying I know where I stand on it, but in terms of it being like, of course, like, there's a genocide going on. But my thing is, like, even me saying that's not enough, man. Like, when the Syrian crisis was going on with the refugees and stuff, you know what I would always tell people? Do you know what, I'm sorry, like, you have a take on the Syrian refugees, you have the landscape of what it's going to do with them coming here. Do you know what it's like to walk downstairs and your living room is fucking missing? A rocket took your family out? I just told you, I held my dad's hand as he died. That's one thing that fucking silenced this room here.
It's a big thing.
Do you understand the human moments that occur in these things? If we're talking about the world, if we're talking about stuff that's going wrong, and then how can we influence it? I think we can influence by putting the humanity back in the discussions we have with
Love it.
Okay? If you're going to go good or bad, whatever side you're going to do on it, you better understand the gravitas of what you're talking about, because I bet you none of us have ever fucking experienced a fraction, still, with all the hardships I've had, of what some of the things that are going on in the world are like. And that's just a fact. That's not even a fucking opinion. That's just I have never seen an explosion in my life. I cannot begin to tell you what I think someone should do with their life, or what they have to do, or who's right or wrong, when I haven't even seen a actual fraction of what that is. But if we can actually just tap into our fucking shared humanity about anything, then I believe we can act, hopefully, in the right way, if that makes sense. We can do it from a real place, and not from a place of what we think we should be fucking saying or experiencing, because we're all people, we're all energies, we're all fractals. We're not
everything
like that. We're not politics.
Right.
We're not fucking organized religion. We're not those things. We are a shared fucking energy.
You bet.
That needs to be appreciated as such.
Yep.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Awesome, Joey. Thank you.
Joey, you're the man. I love you. Thank you for
Love you
doing this.
too,
I
dude.
can't shake your hand because I have my burn.
Your burn. I was like, did you come in your hand? I was like, dude, what the fuck? I'm sorry for taking so long on your podcast.
Dude, that was amazing. Thank you for that. Seriously.
Thank you for all the content.
Kurt, you want to sign us off with our usual?
Sure. Everybody, thank you so much.
Over there.
Over here, okay. Over there with your beautiful wife behind the scene tonight. And thank you so much, Kim, for all you did. I want to thank you. And Joey, really awesome having you and delivering your rawness and your authenticity and talking about your spirituality, and your journey's been, quite interesting. And I know that the audience got a lot out of it. We did, certainly. And
Definitely.
I want to thank the audience for coming on, and thank you for your time and energy today. And we're very happy to have you here. So please remember that your mind is your power, and stay empowered.